Hello, testing this mic. Seems like it's reading fine. Hello, viewers popping in. Let me switch over. Nice, should be good. So hello Rebel Star. How are you doing today? You may notice in the bottom left corner that there is something happening to my little Momo. And thought it would be a fun idea to make this stream a little more interactive, and since I don't have a 3D model or anything like that, to just have this little PNG of Momo react when I'm talking. So when I'm talking, this little Momo will be all lit up, and when I am not, such as when I have my airbrush on and stuff, Momo will fade out like this. So yeah, and it also does a little hop every time I start talking, so that's kind of funny. In the future I may change it so it looks like my mouth moves and stuff, but for now we're just testing this feature out and seeing how it goes. I'm just kind of watching it right now. Yes, I'm doing well. There is a possibility it might start storming tonight. It's kind of been estimated, and we're supposed to get some pretty heavy rain, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen since we've got a lot of airbrushing to do today, but we'll see. So far it's been pretty good all day, but you never know. So, welcome back to Thursday stream. This is our new definite time. We will be doing Thursdays at 8 p.m. from now until foreseeable future, as I kind of lock down this schedule and get ready because school starts soon. Yeah. Pretty darn soon. Next week is a whole bunch of orientation stuff, and then after that, it's down to the grind. So, been fun. Been able to do quite a lot over the summer with you guys and start these streams and get them going. So, I'm hoping once school continues, we'll be able to, keep doing this. It's been fun. Anyway, things we did last time. We finished all of the whites on the clothing. So, let me just pull out a piece as an example. So we did all of the whites and pre-shading and post-shading and pearls on everything that's supposed to be white. So again, as a reminder, we are painting this little monk in the style of Chun-Li. So right now, working on her whites, which, look kind of red and under this lighting, but that's really not the case. It's more of like a, kind of grayish white with some greens in it actually. So far so good with this. You can see as we turn the piece, if it focuses, yeah, there we go. It has this greenish kind of shine to it, and that's because of the pearl coat that we added, which I already put back, so I can't show it again. But we used Mr. Crystal color to kind of show off this piece and make it shine some more. Same with the boots. So the boots are all shiny and kind of greenish as well. I did top coat all of the pieces, so I said that I would do that yesterday in order to keep this stream on track, and I did. So let me move this first. Yeah, so all these pieces are shinier than they were before because I've now put a gloss coat on them. So you can see if you turn it, well, that's a good close-up of my finger. Yeah, there we go. So it shines as you do it. That's the purpose of the gloss. So I also did this on the two pieces that we only sprayed white. So we've got clear differentiation here. Let's see. You can see on the top there, it's shining pretty brightly compared to like her lower skin area, which is not. So that top white part is glossed. We will not be masking this off today when we spray the skin tone, so I'm just kind of going to go along the top here with my Badger brush, and then, that will serve as some shading as well. We just don't want everything up here covered, so I'm just going to focus all of the skin tone shading from here to here, and not bother with the masking yet. Typically don't do that when I'm painting whites and skin tones. Lastly, what we will start with, and what we wrapped up with last time is working on her pants. So this color is just one base color laid down. This doesn't have any clear color or anything yet. So And I haven't sealed these pieces yet, just the base color is laid down. So This was a custom mixture. Let's see if I can pull it out. Oops. Called Monk Tights, which I haven't shaken this paint, but let's see. Basically a good mix of black and orange and a little bit of red thrown in and layered slowly onto these pieces. Oh my gosh, got a lot of vials over here. To give them like a bit of dimension. So what we'll be doing today and what we'll be starting with is deepening some of these shadings. I have a clear color mixture that we painted on a spoon last time, but we will be mixing that shortly and then applying that to key areas on here, such as in between the cracks, along the top, and mostly the bottom. We're not really gonna, go too much in the middle part here where it's already pretty light, but we'll see what happens. And after that, I might apply a clear orange or a clear brown or something to give this piece a little bit more vibrance. It's a little bit dull right now in terms of the color, meaning that it's just kind of faded out. There's not a lot of saturation on it. So in order to do that, we can apply another clear color, make it a little bit brighter. So that's the plan. We'll do pants first, and then we'll transition into skin tone, which we do have mixed up already. This is called Mystery Skin. I explained it last time, but it's just a mixture of like 3 different paint mixtures I had for other kits that I had made in the past, and so I didn't want to really mix new paint. The paint that I have of the surfaceless stuff is pretty precious, so I just try to reuse it and do what I can with all of the random mixtures I make so I don't have to waste it. But let's start with pants. So I have a mixture here that I need to start putting together, and we'll just get started. Let's see. So got a little dropper. Okay. This mixture will require some clear black and let's see, clear brown, the GX 109 brown, and just a bit of clear red. So really it was more of a darker brown black mixture that we will be doing for this. So set that over here. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna make 2 batches of this and just kind of have it on the side. I run through this stuff quickly, but I'm not quite sure how much I need, so it's best just to make a little more than you need in case you spill it or whatever. And again, I don't pre-mix my clear shading. I just kind of mix it out of the bottle. I have a limited number of vials, so I try not to waste it or save it. Okay. And let's see, 1 drop of brown. Okay, I need another. There we go. Okay. Hope you guys are all having a good night tonight, or day, or really, really late night, early morning, wherever you are and whenever you're watching this, whether you're watching us live or through a VOD later. Okay, just a little bit of red. It looks like majority of this mixture was black and brown. Okay, and let me grab a toothpick. That way I can really mix it together. Make sure that everything is coming out of that cup. Okay. Yep, looks pretty good. Oh, the red at the top. At the very bottom needs to be mixed a little more. There we go. Okay. Yep, that's a really nice dark brown. And also, just realized that I need to switch out my airbrush. I did not do that before, so. We will start out with the Badger Sotar 2020 today. So we are doing detail work. Okay, regular one, same one we usually use for all our detail needs. There we go. Okie doke. And one more thing, let me test and make sure that this brush is clean. Always important. Yep. Alright, we're good to go. So we got our paint mixture, we've got our airbrush set up and all our thinner, etc. All I need now is my safety gear. So I'm gonna put on my mask. And as usual, once this booth goes on, I will mute myself, so you will not see little Momo light up or myself talking, but please feel free to talk in chat or ask questions, because I will be turning the booth off, in between when I'm changing stuff or if I need to look at the piece. So always here to listen and talk to you guys. All right, mask on. And I'm gonna turn this booth on now. One quick thing, and I just realized I forgot, I need to add a little bit of Mr. Tartar Miles. I was noticing it was coming out a little bit flossy, so that should be enough. Dump this back in here. See what it's for. Alright, now we should be good. Gonna take a brief little break just so I can compare my reference and kind of see what other colors I need to work with on here to get it closer to where I want it to be. And let me just spray this out real quick. A lot of assorted droppers over here. Really what I did was just take my badger and go in between the cracks and kind of along the top and the bottom of those pants to apply a little bit more of a clear shading to it. Also, just thought I heard a Kermie, and I guess I was right. Thank you so much, Dingle Wars, for the follow. And oh my gosh, a raid too. Or a host? I'm not really sure the difference between those. But thank you. That means a lot. Sorry that I couldn't say thank you right away. I had to mute myself. Anyway, let me get my reference out and let me check real quick. I often do this when I am painting, is I look at my reference on my phone, since a lot of times phone colors are super saturated and bright, and it gives me a better idea of kind of what I want the kit to look like. Oh, that's already pretty close. Pretty close. So I am looking at that kind of bigger Chun-Li in the top left. She looks really tiny there, but this one had the pants design that I like, the tights that I liked the most. And it looks like I'm pretty close, but I think I need to add a little bit more orange to this, or maybe brown. So I do have a brown on my desk. Let me see. The brown I would use for this will not be the GX109 because that's kind of a darker brown, and we want more of an orangish brown color here. So let me switch out my airbrush since we're gonna have to do an all over in order to get that color on there. And I'm gonna try using a brown I have on my desk. This is Mr. Color Lascivous 05. We will be using this color for her skin tone tonight, and so I might as well see if it works. Might try spraying it on a spoon I have over here just in case. Let's see. So this won't really be mixed with anything. You can certainly mix clear paints with something else to kind of adjust it. No, thank you, I don't want that song. But we won't be doing that here. This is a really nice kind of brown that comes out of the bottle. Not too vibrant either, so should give us what we want. Hopefully, we'll have to see. Okay. I'm gonna mix a full dropper here since this is going on as an all over color. So you can see as it comes out, it's pretty orangish in tone. This is the darkest of the three Mr. Lascivous skin tone colors. So 03, 04, 05 are the skin tone paints. And so this technically is the skin tone paint, but this is the brown one. And so it applies more of a neutral kind of orange, in all honesty, over it. So you can see it kind of beiges things out. We doing skin today? Yes, we should, Mr. Freake. My goal today is to wrap up the pants first because we already got the base coats down on that, and then we will jump into skin. So speaking of skin, this is the tone I'm kind of looking to get, but we'll have to see. And this is mystery skin and then the brown tone on top of the skin. So we'll see when we get to that. I might adjust it a little bit, but for now, just gonna kind of see what these pants look like. Hope you are doing well, Mr. Freake. This Thursday or Friday night for you guys. Alright, so I'm gonna put on my compressor first, but I'm not gonna turn my booth on yet. I'm just gonna test the spoon real quick. See if it brightens the color at all. It looks like it does. Let me see. Definitely not that big of an effect compared to some of the other paints. So I think, let me set this aside for now. And I'm gonna pull out my Gaia Notes Clear Brown. And that one is a nice, vibrant, more orangey tone. So that should add a little bit of that saturation I want. Also, did I mute my sound? Like, my audio is not working now. Oh, yep, I did. Sorry about that gap in the audio. It's trying to tell me that I'm gonna get a strike against my account, clearly. Alright, so let's mix this one instead. This is Gaia Notes Clear Brown. Same concept, it's a clear paint, but this one is a little bit more pigmented compared to the Skin Tone series. So very bright color here. I'm just gonna use the same bottle or the same dropper that I used for the Mystic color. So much, much, much darker. I'll compare these two in a sec. This should be hopefully what I want this time. Might need to put some red on this pants as well. Not sure yet. So here's the comparison. Pretty dramatic. Okay, so we'll leave the Skin Tone over there. And now, I will compare. Oh yeah, that's much better. That turns it really into a high saturated brown. We gotta go kind of easy on this because a little goes a long way. So I'm gonna pour some in my cup and put my mask back on, and then we will mute shortly. So we're just gonna go all over on those pants to give them a little bit more of that orange tone that's in Chun-Li's kite. Forbidden cola, yeah, very much so. Delicious, delicious pink cola, my favorite. Alright guys, 1 minute.
Alright, going to check that again. Used up a good chunk of that though, the clear. And I'm gonna need to check this under my other hobby light on the right here, so you guys will hear me and I will be talking, but my booth will be empty. Because I do like to check my pieces under
different lighting conditions. The booth in here, as you guys can probably see and tell, is pretty reddish in color. My ring light kind of trends red as well, so the only time I'm really getting like a true color is when this light is on in the booth, and then over on the right side here for my regular hobby light. So I do want to make sure that, you know, I'm happy with the color before we move on to skin, so just let me check this. Let's see. Okay. So far, so good. Also, when you're working with clear paints, you do want to make sure that you're spraying, you know, both of the pieces the same, because you don't want to end up with one piece being more of a certain color than the other one. So even though I sprayed both of these clear orange, you gotta make sure, or clear brown, you gotta make sure you applied about the same amount of color to each of the pieces, or else they're just not gonna look the same, which seems like it's fine. And I think for now, I'm pretty happy with these pants. I might reevaluate them once we get that metallic blue on, but for now, I don't see any reason why I'm unhappy with them. Once the gloss coat goes on, that will also make a difference. The pieces will be a lot more vibrant then. And I know they look pretty dark in my hobby booth, but they're about 2 or 3 shades lighter than what you were seeing when that airbrush was spraying, so let's see. Yeah, I think that's good for now. And surprisingly didn't need to do a lot of clear shading either. That base coat that we applied on Tuesday did quite a good job at really putting in all of those crevices and everything. And I wasn't too crazy about having it be like perfect shading or only inside of the clothing fold, because this is like a kind of rough and tough girl, and I don't mind if she's a little bit gritty or if, you know, the shadings are a bit more dramatic. So with that in mind, and now that I'm pretty sure I'm good with the pants, well, let me turn off that. Now that I'm pretty sure I'm good with that, it's time to move on to skin tone. So everybody's favorite. Again, this is one of those things where I will be using clear paint for that, clear skin tone. And so you really get one shot with these paints. And if you mess up, if you paint splatter, etc., you're kind of out of luck. You gotta start over. So here's hoping that doesn't happen. Did not happen last time with the Made kit, so. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing such a thorough clean out of this. We're not even gonna use this brush first. I always start with the Badger Sotar because I like to do the pre-shading. And then you go all over, so you guys will see shortly. Let's see. I think worrying about doing it right or perfect slowing me down, and you keep remembering you learn from mistakes. When garage kits are expensive, it can be a big hurdle to get over. Yes, definitely. That's one of the most common things that I hear, is that people are too scared to even start because they are expensive, you know, figures, or maybe you want to be building your grail right away. I do not advise you to do that. Garage kits are, you know, artwork, and it is easy to make mistakes, and they happen no matter what. So if you are, you know, constantly holding yourself to a standard of perfect, you're really not even going to be able to finish anything. And so that's something that's taken me a long time to get over as well. You know, I always struggle with myself as an artist to try to be better and to do better and to get, you know, these perfect smooth paint jobs, etc. But sometimes it just feels like too much. And so there's a couple ways, you know, you can balance it out. You can just take a step back, you know, and kind of refresh yourself, realize, you know, it is just a hobby. You know, you're doing this because you want to have fun. If it's causing you stress, then that's something, you know, that maybe you need to reevaluate. Otherwise, you know, sometimes when I'm feeling in a slump or when I don't want, you know, or I don't feel about perfection, I do kits like this. And so, you know, it's just a matter of finding something you'd be okay with having a few faults as well. So like I have my perfect ones I have to have. I have my holy grails. This is not one of them. This is a kit that I want to be trying new colors on. I don't mind if I make a mistake here or there. You know, when you have certain number of kits behind your belt anyway, people will understand, you know, if you just want to have fun. Like there's no need to constantly be on it 24/7. You know, some people probably think that that's not the case here and garage kit building is super serious hobby, but I don't. You know, I'm doing this as a part-time when I feel like it, you know, when I feel like doing art, it makes me happy. And so I think that's the mindset people should be applying to it rather than starting out from being super stressed. And let's see. Sorry, I was going on a tangent. Didn't even read your comment. There's some gaps I need to fill and I've been thinking about it for 3 days. At some point, I just need to dive in. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the thing that's hardest, and this kind of goes for a lot of things in life, is just starting. You know, there's so many times where I've just not started things because I've been afraid of, you know, what will happen, etc. But the more I build kits and the more I do things, realize that it's just something you have to get over. It's like this mental hurdle. And there's still aspects of this hobby that I feel, you know, kind of nervous about, or I don't, you know, it takes me time to work myself up. Eyes are one of those things, so I think a lot of people have that issue with painting eyes or anything is they get nervous, and I do too. Sometimes I have to take a day or two and just hype myself up, and I'm like, okay, I'm in a good mood, I'm ready to do this. And so there's nothing wrong with that either. If you need to take time, this is not, garage kit building is not a race. It is not a competition to see who improves the fastest. You know, we're just here to enjoy a hobby and appreciate models and model building. So be kind to yourself, you know, realize that, you know, at the end of the day, these are just resin or plastic, whatever, you know, it's okay. And it's fine. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm not a very motivational person. I'm very much a person that's just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like if I have a plan, I'm gonna do it. And so, you know, somehow along the way, many years ago, I started feeling that way about kits and I never stopped. So it is what it is. Let's see. Do you have any advice for filling gaps, or is it just try and see what works for you? Yes, I do have my videos. Yeah, so the things that you've seen are usually the practices that I do. I think it will depend on the size of the gap that you need to fill, and that will determine the material and how easy it will be for you to fill it in. So generally really tiny gaps, you know, like the ones on the hair that we had to fill in, really just kind of a seam line. I tend to use a smaller, more liquid putty, I guess, such as Tamiya light curing putty. That one's kind of a very shallow one I use. For the heavy duty repairs, I do use the Tamiya 2-part epoxy putty. So let me pull it out real quick. I do have it right on my desk here. Although it's very crowded over here with all of these little things. Also, I don't know why my music keeps cutting out. This is getting a little concerning. I'm just gonna skip it. So yeah, for the heavy duty repairs, if you have a big gap, I use a Tamiya epoxy putty. This is just what I use. There are plenty of alternatives. Milliput, Avis epoxy, Sculpt, Those are the ones that come to mind. Sculpey, there's something Sculpey I use. There's another one as well. There's a variety of products available basically, but this is more for the bigger gaps, the 2-part ones. Otherwise, I just recommend, using more of a surface level putty, such as this one, Tamiya light curing putty. I don't really recommend Tamiya basic putty. That one is that gray one or white one in the tube. I did used to use that in the past, and on my website I do have it listed as a putty, but I don't really like its shrinking properties, and it tends to kind of flake off, which I don't like either. So if you have any specific questions, maybe take a photo or something of your gap, and then I can give you a recommendation in real time. Yeah. But that's good. Yeah, no worries. And if you do want me to see it so I can give you a recommendation, that's great, guys, too. I love photos. I'm always willing to try to give you a recommendation or something from a photo, because sometimes it's hard to just kind of like explain this stuff when I don't have a photo or anything to go off of. What is happening with Spotify? I think I might try restarting it and hope that it links to my stream again. Lots of silence this time. Okay, so that, I can hear it. Okay, let's hope that that works and that stream does not cut out on the music this time. Let's see, you're on vacation next week, but we'll dive in and try when you're home. Awesome. Yeah, let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, I am here, Lots and lots of ways you can get the same result by kit building. But anyway, we're here for skin tone tonight. So I'm gonna start out with Mystery Skin. This is a mixture of many different skin tones that I've made in the past. Well, yeah, literally Mystery Skin. It's some sort of mixture of Gaia Notes 059 and 060. So surfaceless orange and surfaceless pink. This is the standard that I use for my skin painting in some sort of ratio. Depends on what I'm trying to achieve. Usually I start out with 1 part orange and then start out with 2 parts pink, but I often go more than that because anime kits and anime girls in particular tend to be on the pinkier side of skin tones rather than like pure orange. If you ever watch a lot of anime, you may notice that skin tones for men and women in the anime are different, and women tend to be a little pinkier. Of course, this varies highly depending on the series, but at least for the kits that I paint and the characters that I'm asked to paint, a lot of times they are on the pinkier side of the color scheme. So, and the orange is very powerful, this surfaceless orange, so I don't use a lot of it compared to the pink. Alright. And no worries, Mr. Freaky. We are always here to answer questions, or I'm always here to answer questions, and I'm happy to do so, no matter what step we're on. If you guys need a refresher, etc., that's why I'm here. So, all right. So what we're gonna do first is go over areas that need highlights, or I guess shadings would be the correct term here, not highlights. So I'm talking about areas like the ends of elbows, insides of wrists, insides of elbows, kind of along the edge here, her shoulder blade, for her top here. Shading will start kind of in areas where I expect it to be shaded. So along the bottom of her, bust, kind of up into her butt. Along the back, you can see she has a kind of a back line there. That's going to be painted. Along the edge here. And then probably down into like her belly button area. So shading's all of that first. Then I will switch out into my Iwata and go an all over color. And then kind of go from there. Sometimes I switch back into shading again, etc. Clear skin, just really gotta work slow, and it kind of depends what skin tone you're trying to achieve. So I'm not sure how dark I'll go here, or how saturated, I guess, because we still need to apply the brown. But until then, I'm just gonna get started and hope that everything's good.
Did it crash again? It did. Oh my goodness. Okay. Apologies for the music tonight, guys. It keeps cutting out for whatever reason and just stopping. Alright. Airbrush is on, our compressor is on. I will be spraying at the usual 15-20 psi. Should be good. And let me test this out first. Okay, I might spin this out just a little bit more. Really, we want the skin tone pretty thinned out. Yes, we'll see. Alright, I'm gonna start and mute. Alright, brief stop. What I'm gonna do and what I'm noticing
is that it's really hard to paint this piece, even though it does have a magnet and we can kind of stick it to the clip. So I am going to drill a little hole into these arms real quick and just use a wire. Let me brush this off. I also say this because the alligator clip is leaving like a little marking on her arm, and that's obviously not something we want when we're going to be painting clear skin. So let me do this. And the other two pieces are fine. They're just her head and her body, but these did not have any wire in them. So not a big deal. We're not gonna see this hole once we drill it or attach the figure, I guess. So essentially it's just drilling a hole next to the area where we put a magnet already. Okay. But this should help, especially when we're trying to rotate the piece a lot. And I do this sometimes. It kind of depends on the piece and its complexity. In this case, these hands are so small that it's a little easier just to have them on a wire. If I can find an appropriate wire, let's see. I've got a big thing here, so I'm just trying to find a wire real quick. Actually, I like have one, but it's not coming out. This will make it easier as well, just to paint and rotate. Okay, that's one. And let's do this other one real quick. After that, no more interruptions, I promise. We will continue skin. Okay. Most of all, when you're doing this, you know, if you have failed to plan, such as I have, make sure you do not drill through your piece. That is just bad. Okay. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay, should be good now. So, just a brief intermission, I guess. Okay, perfect. All right, let us put this away, and then we will continue. These pieces are just so small, so it's already hard enough to get the shading at the right angle, but then to like have the piece wobbling around is not great. So, okay, back to skin painting.
We are doing all of the pre-shading with mystery skin on all of these pieces, and then we will switch into the Iwata and go all over. So, still good. All right, back on. just want to give a quick thank you to you, Okalevi. Thank you, Okale. I appreciate it. We are skin painting right now, but your support means a lot. And yeah, now you get all these permies, so that's great. Alright, back on track, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna stop there for now. Pre-shading is pretty much done at this point on all of the pieces. Oops. Okay, thought I moved my camera, but I did not, so that's good. Yeah, so
Pre-shading is pretty much done on all of the pieces at this point, at least all of the areas where I wanted to shade. Some slight mishaps. There's like an area or two that I applied it a little bit too thickly, so not really sure how that's going to play out once we get the skin tone on, but that's fine. Gonna just drain this real quick. We may or may not come back to this. Actually, probably will come back to this airbrush once we start laying down the secondary color. What on earth is this music? I'm gonna skip this one. That is a weird. Okay. Alright, so let's put this away for now. And so next what we're gonna do is go all over with the same skin tone, the mystery skin. But this will provide the basis for the actual skin tone. So until now we've just been applying the pre-shading, kind of like, you know, the shading in between. If you got an elbow, it's a crack, you put some shading in it. Now's the all over. So this will really determine most of the base color of her skin tone. Then after that, we'll do a few slight adjustments with the Mr. Lascivious Brown and kind of go from there. No problem, Mr. Frike. Have a good night. Hope to see you next week or enjoy your vacation. I think it was you who was going on vacation. Yes. Yep. Have a good night. Okay, let's switch over to the water. I'm gonna put like 1.5 droppers in for now. Just because when you're spraying it kind of widely, it goes much quicker. Oops. Okay, need another. Okay, and Chun-Li does have a very kind of healthy peachy yellow skin tone, so and I want that for this maid as well to an extent. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of go all over and then compare it to the pants, because that's a pretty important part, is making sure that the skin tone matches with the pants. And then we will, you know, adjust as needed.
okay, mask going back on. And I'm going to start with the hands and then kind of work my way into everything else. What I just wanted to document right now is I got a slight paint splatter, just a tiny dot on the back of her arm. But luckily I was able to wipe it off, and the coat of paint that I had, the clear paint, was so thin at that point that it didn't really cause anything. So that's kind of a benefit of really thinning out your clear paint is when and if you paint splatter, you're not going to have quite as much of a cleanup or a problem with it if you do make a mistake. So let me double check and make sure that I'm happy with it. Yeah, no big deal. Should be fine at this point. So sometimes tiny paint splatters are salvageable. Yeah, definitely. I was like, oh no, I don't really want to have to do all of this again, especially because these arms are such a pain. But we're good so far, so let's continue. Alright. So base coat is now laid down on all the pieces.
However, not entirely there where I want it yet. We still have to add the Mr. Lascivous brown on it and maybe adjust here and there. I'm not quite happy with it yet. Looks a little bit yellowish. I'll show you guys in a second. I have this problem a lot when you start with a base color or a base mixture from this brand, is it looks kind of like orangey no matter what, even if you add a whole lot of pink. So we'll see. Actually, let me mix some more in here first. So this is that clear brown that we took out earlier today. Just been sitting in a cup. Okay. Okay, so here's kind of where we're at now. I'm gonna very, delicately handle these pieces. They do have very thin layers on them. Oh, it's really hard to tell in this lighting. Oh man. Yeah, so they're still pretty bright and white in terms of the paint coat laid on. You can definitely start to see some definition on them. Maybe it's easier here. Yeah, it's easier if I show it on a paper towel. So you can see compared to a regular white that they were primed before, they're starting to get a little bit of shading here and there. You can really see the orangish tones start to come out here in the inside of the elbow. Same with like the outside of the elbow. That's a pretty bright color. So I need to blend that in a little bit more. And areas like her belly are already, looking like skin tone. Obviously this light is pretty red in here, so it's kind of tinting everything red. But she does already have, what is starting to look like skin. But we're not there yet, because when I compare it to this piece, I don't like how these look together. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I need to do some adjustments. So we will start with the clear brown and see where that takes us. I'm going to put it kind of inside of her wrists and along the shoulder blade, so not too many super obvious places yet, because I'm not 100% sure if I will like it. So far, yeah, our spoon color is a lot, darker than our skin tone right now too. So, and let me look at this spoon, I guess here. Yeah, I like this color next to the spoon more. So we'll see how and if we can get that color. All right, this is clean. I need to switch out my brush. Not 100% sure if we'll finish skin tone today. It depends if I just end up liking it or not. If not, I will have to wrap it up on my own, because the next stream we have requires some masking, and so I do have to have the skin tone laid down and glossed up and ready after that, or before that. Okay. And let me put this aside. I don't want to hurt or spill anything. And I need a little bit more thinner as well. Typically do not use this clear pale brown when I'm painting anime style kits. My go-to is generally the Mr. Lascivous 03, the clear pale red. So this clear brown will really give you more of a tanned yellowy skin tone, if that's what you're looking for. And in this case, that is what we're looking for. So here's hoping that it works out in my favor. We're going to do kind of the same thing here. I'm going to go over pretty lightly this time the shaded areas, because we did already put a lot of pre-shading down on them. And I'm going to go all over on the kit. So let's start. Put on my mask.
round 2 of that goes a lot quicker since, you know, we already laid down most of the shading. It's the base one. So after this, I'm gonna clean and then switch to the Iwata again. That's kind of how this goes. Just go back and forth, depending on the size of your kit, obviously, and how many details there are. I just have to switch to the small badger because my needle size on my Iwata literally does not work at reaching these tiny areas and these fine lines that I really want to get. So that is why I purchased the badger. But it did change the shading a little bit, so I made it kind of more brownish, a little bit more muted, so far so good, I think. But I will check again. Let's see. So, still pretty bright on here, but now you can really start to see some sort of, you know, shading and dimension on the arms, around the shoulder, etc. So now we're gonna, again, make this skin tone a little bit more toward Chun-Li's skin tone. Spray a whole base layer again. Hello Kyle, how are you? Just about to mute myself, so spraying skin tone. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will get to them. Alright, I'm going to look at this.
Again, under light, should be better than before, I think. Putting that brown on really helps mellow it out a little bit. I might add a little bit of the lashes red though, because it still looks pretty orange to me. We are starting to run low on time though. We have about 10 minutes left, so I think the most I can do is probably get some of that Lash of Us 3 on, and that'll be it for tonight. Let me see. Actually, yeah. So that's a much better fit this time. Oh gosh. Really, I need to go into the filter settings here because that skin looks crazy on the screen. Let's see. Maybe there's a way to adjust the hue a little bit. Let's see. Oh, definitely not that. Okay, let's try. Somehow I think that makes it more orange. Alright, so there's some funky camera settings going on here, but I assure you her skin is not that orange. Oh, that helps a little bit. Let's see. Not really. Tough to make it so, like, you know, you guys are seeing accurate colors, and that's one thing I always struggle with when I'm working with color as well. Let me look at this under my own light then. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Let me see. I think that's actually pretty close to how I want it for now. Once you gloss the skin and once I gloss her tights here, it'll be a little easier for me to tell what the true color is for now until we matte it back down. But I think adding that brown on top really helped it. And again, we're gonna have her, she's gonna be having like really brown hair, so we don't want to be, you know, too reddish in skin tone because she's gonna have that red hair too. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good place to stop for now. I am pretty happy with this skin tone. Let me show you guys some of the pieces so you can kind of see, even though this lighting is very red. So they're very clearly orange now, and maybe putting this here will help. Yeah, so you can definitely see the highlights here, pretty dramatic, at least for now, of what they look like. But this is the power of appreciating and working with clear skin tone, is you can get these really defined shade areas. Notice that I focused most of it on kind of the top of her head along her hairband, or her hairline I guess, as well as inside of the eyes. So her eyes look a little bit spooky now, but all of those circle areas are going to be covered up with white enamel paint later. So really when you're spraying into eye sockets, the only purpose of that is to give you a little bit of eyeshadow kind of above the eye crease here. So I could extend it a little bit farther up here if I wanted to. And I might do that with some Lash of This Red, not sure yet. The back here is interesting because she has a very well-defined neck. So a lot of the shading that I did was just pretty far into the neck and kind of along the back as well. So this piece will be kind of a pain to mask because we are going to have to gloss coat everything here, and then all of her skin, even along the neck, etc., all of that's going to have to be masked off when we spray her hair. So unfortunately her hair is one piece and attached to her skin tone, so this happens pretty often with garage kits. You know, I've encountered quite a few of them these days, and in the past, that have sculpted hair on top of the head. So when that happens, you just have no choice but to mask off the face. Hope you don't rip up the paint, you know, hope you did a good job priming your kit, because the last thing you want is to like pull off, you know, your masking and then your face paint comes off with it. So we'll make sure to gloss this really nice. Another easy thing and something I probably will do is kind of mask off all of the side of her head here, and then have like one piece of tape, one big piece of tape, and then the rest will be clear film, so like plastic wrap that you put on your leftovers and stuff when you're storing them in the fridge. I tend to use that on big areas that I don't want to mask a lot. So a lot of times when I don't want masking tape touching the face, I'll put, a thin line of masking tape along the area and then kind of cover the rest with a clear film. And so you get the power of having it being masked, but it's just like a piece of plastic on top of it. Other popular things people do is use blue tack. That's one that's kind of used in Japan more often these days, is masking with blue tack, or the liquid putty stuff. But I don't really use liquid mask on faces. I just use regular paper tape and clear film. So we'll be doing that next time. I think that was pretty much all I have to say about these pieces. There is one spot on the back here that I did spray a little bit too hard on, but I'm willing to let it pass this time. There's just like kind of a mark here that looks like it's kind of going down into her back, and it almost does look like it's a back shadow, so I'm okay with it. It's kind of like this one right here, but we'll see. I might do some adjustments on that as well. Really, why is this happening? Spotify. But yeah. So I think that's it for now. So next time and next stream will be on Tuesday. What we will do is be masking for sure. We're gonna spray that metallics on her shirt here. So her shirt's gonna be that metallic blue that Chun-Li kind of has on her outfit. And same with her tattered clothes. So this piece here, which is all nice and shiny now, it's all glossy white. We are gonna be spraying this metallic blue on this gloss white, so no need to do black or anything like that. And yeah, that will be the focus first, is masking those and getting those done, and then probably masking the face. Not sure how long it will take. Masking will probably take a while because this will probably be a pretty complicated piece, so I'm not sure if we'll get to painting hair, but we'll try. In any case, thank you guys for watching. Next stream will be on Tuesday, August 24th. I'll have lots to talk about because I think that's my school orientation. So it'll be a busy day, and then I'll come home and stream. So hope you guys have a good night and a good rest of your weekend, and stay cool. Hope to talk to you later. Bye-bye.